Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Donna Sports Show, brought to you by my great friends and my sponsors, Forest Preserve District of DuPage County, golf courses, Oak Meadows, Maple Meadows, Green Meadows, Primerica Investments with Mike Figarelli, J.D. Muggs Still and Grill on Addison Road, Fox Bowl in Wheaton. Get out and bowl. It's air conditioned. Wayne H. O'Brien. The H stands for houses and hockey. Poor Wayne, a Boston Bruin fan. Sorry, Wayne. But maybe next year. Ozzy's, the world's best sub. You got to get in there and have a sub from Ozzy's. The terrific place. You can do a lot of things besides buy subs, like cash your check and get money orders and things like that. Auto Advantage of Addison on Lake Street, man. If your car needs any repair, get in there. Great guys, reasonable prices. They'll beat any price. Pyramid Restaurant and Pizzeria on Lake Street, a great sports bar. Man, they got giant TVs, 25 pool tables, Pyramid Restaurant and Sports Bar, and Max Golden Pheasant. Yes, let me tell you about Max Golden Pheasant. They're on North Avenue, just west of Route 83, on the south side of the street in Elmhurst, Illinois. Go in and meet Steve Mack and his staff. Wow, they're great guys. A great bar with plenty of TVs and a cozy dining room with great food and specials every night, like ribs and spaghetti with meatballs, and they're delicious. Remember, Max Golden Pheasant on North Avenue in Elmhurst, Illinois. Well, show today. Well, a little bit of a lull, folks. You know, hockey's over. That was exciting. Of course, the Blackhawks won. Now we're into, not football yet, but, you know, here's baseball, right? And actually, the Cubs are making a little noise, you know. Started out bad, but gee, they've come alive here. Won maybe 10 out of 12 games, playing real well. They're moving up in the standings. They're only 13 games out of first place, which, you know, if they go on a streak, you never know. You know, they could perhaps make the playoffs. It's not over yet. They got half a season to go. So we'll talk a little bit about the Cubs. We'll have some calls, of course, from Jack Red Ryan, National Fitness Hall of Fame, John Figarelli, Wayne H. O'Brien, NASCAR Jeff, Scott Allen. Hopefully we can get all those fellas on. And, of course, we'll talk a little Cubs and White Sox. Gee, the Sox is struggling, but I guess nobody really expected them to do too well. I guess you'd have to say they're in a rebuilding mode, you know. Touch on the Hawks a little bit, Stanley Cup and so on, but we're kind of in between things here. Football not quite started, waiting for the Bears to get started, and that's always exciting. But there's other things going on, like golf and lawn bowling with my buddy Tom Michael. They like to go lawn bowling. So there's a lot of things to talk about. We'll get some calls in. We'll take a fast break and be right back. All right. Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'd like you to go over to Addison Advantage of Addison, a car care center. Why? Because they have a free inspection for your brakes, your exhaust, your struts, your shaft, ball joints, radiators, water pumps, timing belts, tires, wheel bearing. You realize that there are that many things that would be done on a car?
Hey, that's all called preventive maintenance, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, it's absolutely right.
You can't be too safe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get in there and but if you do need some things, there's a $20 bonus voucher for any service over $250, which, you know, that save you $20, and a $5 bonus voucher. I keep saying voucher. $5 off any service over $30. That'd be easy to do. An oil change would be that. You'd get $5 off. They're located at 885 Lake Street in Addison. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 6. On Saturday from 8 to 3. Give Dominic or Leon a call at 630-543-1397. All right, that's Auto Advantage of Addison, Car Care Center. Great guys. They have best warranty around and the longest warranty around. Brakes $70 off on a brake job with a 4-wheel lifetime warranty. Can you imagine that? And a 1-year warranty on all labor that they do. All work comes with a warranty. So if you need your oil change, you need transmission, you need flush, or front end work, fuel pumps, whatever you could think of on your car, go over to Addison Advantage of Addison at 885 Lake Street in Addison. Call Dominic or Leon, 630-543-1397.
Y'all ready for this?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Jack Red Ryan is on the line now. And, Jack, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, you staying cool down there on the south side?
Such a beautiful day, too, you know?
Right. Jack, well, let's see, is spring, yeah, it's summertime, so Notre Dame spring game's over, right? That they're just in limbo right now?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, waiting for the season to start.
Yeah, we'll be upon us before we know it, for sure, you know?
Yeah, well, they're probably practicing, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
One a day or whatever.
Something, yeah. Well, when's their first game? August something, right?
Well, you know, I would think September, but they're going to start in August?
Last part, I think. But
yeah,
I'm not sure. I have to go look up the schedule again.
Well, look it up and send it to me, will you? I've got to keep the Irish, number one. They were last year number one for a long time, and just lost right at the last game of the year, you know.
Yeah.
So although they
that was a good season, and no doubt about it. And as far as like you just said, it's good for the future. They can build on something that way. And
yeah, it's too bad they lost their quarterback though, their starting quarterback.
That's right.
But although I understand they got 2 or 3 guys that have played, you know, got some experience, so. You know, I don't think they'll be hurting too much there, you know.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I agree. I can't think of the kid's name, but he's still with them. The one they had more or less, he had some kind of I don't know, it was a DUI or something. They had him sort of benched, you know. But I noticed they used him when they needed him.
Yeah, right.
Can't remember the name.
Yeah. Jack, when was the last game you seen down there at South? Have you been down there?
The Stanford game last year.
Which one?
The Stanford I think that was the one with went into overtime, and they had the great goal line stand.
Oh yeah. That's Southern.
Yeah, it was really nice.
No, that
the kids are both alumni.
Mm-hmm.
And,
wow.
They didn't play football because Michelle, she graduated in '97, and Jennifer graduated in '99. So, but they get into a pool, you know, a drawing to get tickets, and I don't think they pay for them, but I mean they even bid on it, you know, to buy them. So
yeah,
I think we'll be down there maybe once or twice in the fall now.
Oh yeah, well that'll be great. If you need someone to tag along, let me know.
Yeah, if you've never been down there, it's just some sort of like what you call it a happening, or it's a great feeling. It's all festive, and they said a game week, people start getting there Wednesday and Thursday with their campers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you know, I was there. It's been a while though, Jack. Since I've been down there to a game, you know,
yeah.
It's hard to get tickets if you're not a domer, you know. And,
yeah, well, even then.
Yeah, but the last game, gosh, I don't know, way back, it was a Michigan State game, you know, and that was.
Well, I was pardon my language. Heck.
Yeah.
We had a couple of times when we wanted to put tickets we couldn't give away because the last minute things, you know, different plans happen and.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We wish we knew you then, so.
Yeah, and. But good old.
Hey, not to change the subject there.
Yeah, but go ahead.
How about those White Sox last night, huh?
Yeah, how about it, huh? Would they lose 11-2 or something?
Yeah, 11-2.
Oh,
By the time some of that came out.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Like the Cubs won big too, didn't they?
Yeah, the Cubs. Yeah, right. The Sox. Well, I don't know. It's just maybe last year was a little bit of a fluke or something, you know.
Yeah.
Because they did pretty well, only lost out right at the end there. But this year,
well, I hope to think this year's the fluke. Number 2, it's not too late really yet. We just passed the halfway point, so.
Yeah, you know they can come alive. I know, but their pitching, you know, got disrupted and. They're not hitting either, you know. But maybe it's time to start rebuilding down there, you know.
I know they're getting a look at a lot of people. This young catchers is Flagley, or what's his name, Josh?
Yeah.
He's got 2 homers in 3 days or something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what they got to do. They got to bring up them guys like that.
You can look at somebody, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know about Ventura. Well, I guess Robbins. What can he do? You know, I mean, as far as he's got the players, there's no moves he could make like to get new players and so on. So he's got to, with what he's got, that's what he's got to play with.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't play the game. The guys are playing.
Well, to be sure, there are a lot of people there who are trade bait right now too. So
yeah, well,
they're out there.
Right. But yeah, Konerko, I don't know. Paulie getting older now. You know, I don't know. If
he's got to be winding down his career.
Yeah. So
sure, you know, he would tell you that too. But
yeah. Well, maybe they could trade him for a pitcher, a young up-and-coming pitcher. You know, that's what they could do. I would think. You know. Because the guys and then Dunn doing all right, but you know, his strikeout ratio is just so high. You know.
Yeah. Well, nothing like it was 2 years ago, though.
Yeah, I know.
Poor guy, I never saw more 0-2 counts in my life.
Yeah, at least he's a little better. You know, he got better.
But remember this though. The Bambino, he had a lot of strikeouts too in his ratio.
Well, yeah, but he hit 700 home runs, right?
I know, I understand, but all these, of course, he had high batting average, but nonetheless, you know.
Yeah, he struck out a lot, but his average was much better than Dunn's, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, Dunn has all these homers and a lot of RBIs, but his average is around 200. So I don't know, go figure.
If that, right? If that. Well, have you been to any games yet at the Sox Park? Or
my son-in-law and I, we got a gift for Father's Day. We had a pair of tickets. We saw the Sox Cubs the other day.
Oh, that was well. The Cubs won, right?
What?
The Cubs won that game.
Yeah, they did. You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah.
You wound up 8-2 or something.
Yeah. Well, they have to wait till next year, just like the Cubs, right?
And you're sitting there and you watch the Sox tie the game with a double steal. Oh, the old-fashioned way, you know. You think, oh, great, this is.
Yeah.
But then again, that was the highlight.
Yeah, they should do or try more of that. But you know, the old or new guys, they don't believe in that, or who knows what their strategy is. You know. All right, Jack, what do you got going on the 15th?
The 15th. Oh, yeah, next Monday we have we're going to do our historians. Meet the Chicago Historians program, John's Pride and Joy, I think, and you can ask him later.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to do the most famous crimes in Chicago, or infamous. We're going to look at it in Chicago history.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that ought to be interesting. Richard Speck, I suppose, come in there,
sure.
and there's so
we
many.
Know there.
How many you got, Johnny? Did you? Well, Jack lines it up, right? Yeah. I mean, you get the lineup. Speck would be one, I would think, and Mayor Cermak murder, or you're getting.
Yeah.
Shot.
How about St. Valentine's Day Massacre?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yes, St. Valentine's Day Massacre. But you know what, McGurn or one of them guys, who was it, O'Banion or McGurn actually wasn't an Irish guy. They said.
No,
I didn't know that.
Angelo Anselmo. So Jack McGurn was a name he took when he was boxing. You know, a lot of guys would take Irish names or something. You know?
Oh yeah, that's right. And the Grimes sisters, that was bad, right? Oh man.
Yeah, and what about what am I going to say? Oh, let me think of it before. Oh well.
Yeah. Of course, Richard Hirons comes to mind. Well, that was remember that guy, Richard Hirons, with can't think of the girl, but that was a bad one too, you know. And the Schussler boys and the Peterson, remember that one out there in Schiller Park?
Which one was it?
Well, it was the Schussler boys and Peterson, I think. Remember they got murdered out there by one of the. They finally caught the guy. At the not the racetrack, but
oh, that's right. Years and years later, that's correct. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The Stables, Cumberland Stables. That guy worked there. They couldn't solve. They didn't know who killed them, poor kids. But 15, 20 years later, or something, they caught.
Yeah,
the
more
guy.
than that, I think it was even.
What? Maybe even more. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They finally figured out who it was.
Yeah.
You know, that rat.
These modern methods with DNA or whatever, it's just...
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, it sounds like an interesting show, Jack. Maybe I'll call in and ask a question or two, okay?
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Hey, thanks for the interview, buddy.
When I started on the police department, DNA was short for does not apply in a report, so
really
it's different DNA altogether. So
does not apply. Yeah, but now, boy, they can solve things just out of a little tiny speck. You know, they got a show on TV, Mystery Detectives or something it's called. They got a little speck. You could hardly see it, and the guy takes it and he analyzes it. He says, oh, yeah, that came from the guy's coat he was wearing, made out of this fiber. And then they go into it. Well, it's just fantastic how they can solve things now, which is great, you know, Jack. They let these guys get away with stuff, you know.
Okay.
All right, Jack. Hey, thanks for the call, buddy. And
have a good one.
I'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back, folks. Hi, everybody. This is the Donna Sports, Don Figuarelli, telling you about one of our great sponsors, all right? Pyramid Pizzeria and Sports Bar. That's right, Pyramid Pizzeria and Sports Bar. Addison's favorite pizzeria at 236 West Lake Street in Addison. Phone number 630-458-0777. Hot, fast delivery. 2012 Addison's Pizza by the Slice winner. Yes, best thin crust pizza, best sausage pizza, best pizza sauce. Late night delivery. Here's their hours, Sunday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's 10:30. Friday and Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. Minimum order $10. Delivery charge only $2.50. Menu prices subject to change without notice. Dine in, delivery, carry out, catering. That's Pyramid Sports Bar and Pizzeria. www.pyramidclubaddison.com.
Y'all ready for this?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. On the line with me now is Wayne H. O'Brien. Of course, the H stands for houses and hockey. Wayne, how you doing, buddy? Oh, good. Good. We're not going to browbeat you too much about the Bruins, but, you know, that actually could have gone either way, Wayne, you know, that series.
Oh, yeah, the teams were evenly matched.
Yeah, they really were, you know, and you didn't know if the Hawks are going to win or not. I mean, they look good sometimes, and the Bruins look great, and you say, wow, and they both look great at times, you know, but it was just, what I think happened was in that game, the Bruins just kind of eased up, you know, they figured, well, they're at home and they're winning 2-1, you know. So I figured, well, it only was 2 minutes to go or something. You know what I mean?
That's possible, but I really doubt it because, you know, as long as there's time on the clock,
well,
you gotta keep pressing.
Well, that's true. See, that's what I mean. They might have figured, well, all we got to do is lay back a little bit, you know, and play a little defense, and we'll win the game. But you're right. It was, if there's time left, you got to be careful. You know, it ain't over till it's over. But we won't browbeat you too much about that. Maybe next year, you know, like you said, the Hawks won it in 2010, and then the Bruins won it in 11, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe the next year they're going to repeat again.
Maybe
you know?
History will repeat itself, right?
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Right.
And we got football coming up pretty soon. The Vikings might be all right, you know. You gotta, you know, you don't know how it's going to go, you know. But they did have out of this big book I got here, Wayne, 100 greatest running backs, you know, and one of them, one of the greatest was Chuck Foreman.
Yeah.
And he was ranked like 25th, I think, out of all the running back. There's so darn many good ones, you know.
I think it was the late 80s when he played.
Yeah, in 1970, 75 to the 80s, you're right. He gained 1,070 rushing yards, caught 73 passes, and get this, scored 22 touchdowns. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next season he set a Vikings rushing record of 1,155 yards and caught 55 passes. Wow. So, I mean, he was an all-around guy, you know.
Well, you know more than I do about the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading it out of this book here.
Oh, okay.
This beautiful book my wife bought me, 100 Greatest Running Backs, and I said, well, when I talked to Wayne, and they had Tim. Wait a minute, they had another guy too, wasn't it? Brown, a guy named Brown. Sure, that's right. And I remember that was even maybe in the '60s. I think it was Brown that was for the Vikings. And I'll never forget the first game. I think, you know, when the Vikings started, you know, way back, you know. I think they beat the Bears that day. You know, it was their first game, you know, for the organization. I'm almost positive. I know, and I think they beat the Bears. They had a fullback named Brown from Illinois. Man, they couldn't stop him. So that was the Viking. But then after that, they play pretty even, you know, between the Bears.
I can pick up from the 1970 on up with Bud Grant and Alan Page, Carl Eller, and all the lines, the offensive line they had then.
Yeah, weren't they good? Weren't they the Purple Gang or something, or the?
Yeah, the Purple Gang.
Yes. So, how's the real estate business, Wayne? Getting a little better, I think.
It's picking up.
Yeah, I think it's the market's getting a little better. Houses value going back up again, are they?
They're still selling cheap, but there are more buyers. Yeah.
Yeah, well that's good news, you know. And the rehab business is pretty good, huh? With you and your son.
Yeah. Son's business is doing real good.
Good to know. All right, hey Wayne, I'll let you go. I know it's a little early, but I had to get you on a little early.
Oh, that's fine.
You know, and you have lunch now, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Wayne, yeah, you're welcome. Bye, Wayne
Bye-bye.
H. O'Brien, a great hockey fan, a Boston Bruin fan, and like Johnny DeVita said. We don't know that many guys that are Boston Bruins fans. You know what I mean around here. So then we talked to Wayne, of course. Oh, he likes the Bruins. Then, like Johnny said, the first goal the first game they won. You say the first guy you think of, oh, poor Wade. You know, the Bruins lost. You know. All right, folks, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Hey folks, if you get a chance, get over to J.D. Muggs Bar and Grill, located at 437 North Addison Road in Addison, Illinois. 33 different kinds of beer. Can you imagine that? It's the home of the He-Man Burger, and baby, that is a He-Man Burger. Wait till you see the size of that burger. Chicken Caesar salad, which is one of my favorites. It's a friendly atmosphere. There's karaoke on Wednesday night and a great DJ on Fridays. Call Dean at 630-833-2570.
Hi, my name is Tom Sims. I'm the owner of Foxbowl. We are Foxbowl Training Center and Pro Shop. We set ourselves apart because we emphasize instructions. We have a full-time bowling instructor, Greg Zika. We have instant replay, videotape each bowler. Another program that we have is our Youth Bowling, USA Bowling. It's an 8-week program, after school type of thing. It's 8 weeks for $88 with instructions, and every child gets a free bowling ball, a $75 value. And thank you from Foxbowl.
Y'all ready for this?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figarelli here. We were just talking to Wayne H. O'Brien. Of course, Wayne, a big Boston Bruin hockey fan, but he's a Minnesota Viking fan, too. And I read him some stats out of a beautiful book that I've got from my wife, Julie, 100 Greatest Running Backs, all right? Now, here's the list that they've like they say, it's hard to, with statistics, longevity, and so on. But I'm going to read the top 10. Okay, see if you guys agree with it, and then I'm going to read the top 2 between Jim Brown and Walter Payton. Okay, greatest running backs first. This book here ranks Jim Brown number 1, Walter Payton number 2. Red Grange number 3, Jim Thorpe number 4, O.J. Simpson, 5, Gale Sayers 6, Steve Van Buren. I don't know if you young guys won't remember Steve Van Buren, but the older guys will. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles. And number 8, Bronco Nagurski, and number 9, Eric Dickerson, and number 10, Ernie Nevers. A lot of those guys, in the 30s and 40s, okay? But let me just read this, some of the bio here, and then you make a decision, all right? Jim Brown. When a reporter asked Cleveland coach Paul Brown if he might be overusing his star fullback, the coach answered, "When you got the biggest cannon, you shoot it." Jim Brown was several calibers above any other runner of his time. In the years before he became a movie star, he led the National Football League in rushing 8 times, totaled 12,312 yards, 106 rushing touchdowns, and 756 points. He set records for rushing attempts and was a marked man on every play. They knew he was getting the ball, but it didn't matter. He had never missed a down because of injury. Special defensive were designed to stop him, but none succeeded for long. On 58 occasions, he rushed for more than 100 yards in a game, topping 204 times. His best rushing season was in 1963 when he gained 1,863 yards in a 14-game schedule. He was chosen Rookie of the Year in 1957, was named to 9 Pro Bowls, won the Maxwell Award in 1963, and the most valuable player in both 58 and 59. Brown was a perfect combination of speed and size, a runaway boxcar fit at 6'2" and 232 pounds, with a 32-inch waist. That's about what you have, don't you, Johnny? A 32-inch waist?
38.
38? Halfway around, maybe 32, huh? Cleveland had wanted to draft him as a quarterback in 1957. Despite Brown's All-America credentials at Syracuse, when another team took the quarterback first, Cleveland settled for Jim Brown. Wow. Okay, that's why number 1 all those stats. Okay, number 2, Walter Payton. In 13 years, Walter Payton set nearly every NFL career rushing record. Of course, he played more years than Brown. And most attempts, 3,838. Most yards, 16,726. Most touchdowns, 110. Most 1,000-yard seasons, 10. The most 100-yard games, 77. He also had the most productive single day in 1977 when he ran for 275 yards against Wayne O'Brien's Minnesota Vikings. Oh, brother, poor Wade. His 21,053 combined yards represents almost 12 miles of offense. Yet in all of his records, the most amazing was that he played in 190 of 194 Chicago Bear games, missing 1 as a rookie and 3 because of a 1987 the strike. So he had at 5'10" and 205 pounds, Payton established himself as the most durable runner who ever played. Yep, and certainly one of the very best. But he came in second to Brown, but that's the voting. Maybe they say, well, Walter should be number 1. But it goes back and forth, At Jackson State University, he set a new NCAA record with 464 points. The season he finished second in the NFC in rushing with 1,551 yards, several times chosen league's most valuable player, he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, of course. His nickname Sweetness referred to his running, but he could easily be described as cheerful, caring, and cooperative. Personality that made him a credit to football both on and off the field. I mean, I don't know. I've seen both Jim Brown and Walter, but I think I've seen Walter more than Brown. I would say Walter should be number 1, but then again, there's guys who say, well, he didn't play as many games and so on. Then, of course, Red Grange was good. He was number 3. I don't know if his stats come up anywhere near those two guys, Brown and Payton. But that was 100 greatest running backs. Give me a call if you agree or disagree on that and who you think is the number 1 greatest running back of all time. All right, we'll take a fast break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Figueroa of Don Sports talking about Wayne Houses O'Brien. For all your real estate needs, call Wayne Houses O'Brien. Yes, the H stands for houses. At 630-235-5880 or visit his website at flyingrealtor@yahoo.com. That's right. He's a pilot. He'll take a picture of your home from the sky. Whether you're buying or selling, call Wayne at 630-235-5880. He has residential, commercial, and investment properties. He is honest, hardworking, and friendly. Those are all the traits you want in a realtor. He loves hockey and he loves to fly. Again, call Wayne Houses O'Brien at 630-235-5880 or visit him on his website at flyingrealtor@yahoo.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Now I've got another book here, The Best Chicago Sports Arguments, okay? The 100 Most Controversial, Debatable Questions for Diehard Chicago Fans. When I first looked at it, I said, what are they talking about, Boston Celtics? But the arguments are, just an argument by Chicago guys, not necessarily about Chicago sports, but things that happen in sports, in other towns. The basketball, the different things. And here's one on Michael Jordan, okay? We'll switch gears a little bit, talk a little basketball. Bob Condor, sports editor at the Chicago Tribune, put together a marvelous book entitled Michael Jordan's 50 Greatest Games that accounts a big block of Michael's head shakers. It's a great read, but it's a little off at the top. Bob puts Game 6 and Game 5 of the 1998 Utah series 1 and 2 and the Boston game number 3, okay? Those two against the Jazz were great, but they were way, way behind the Boston game for a couple of obvious reasons. That's what he thinks, okay? The Utah games were great in a series that was over. The Bulls were just working out the Final Four 2 games tally, but the 1986 Michael was convinced that if the Bulls could win that game at the Garden, they would upset the mighty Celtics, who went on to win the NBA championship in 6 games over the Houston Rockets. He was playing to win, not just for points. Need proof? Michael had missed most of the season with a broken foot. I didn't realize that. And he had management pressing him to go sit out the entire season, but he didn't want to. Probably the purpose of getting the Bulls a better shot at a higher draft spot. So the game was accomplished by someone who had missed 64 games in the season. Not bad. The numbers obviously are they. Michael just doesn't score. He scored 63 points. I remember that game. He scored 63 points. He hit 22 of 41 shots from the floor and 19 of 21 from the line. Wow. Do the math. None of these points on a three-point basket. He then pulled down 5 rebounds, passed out 6 assists, picked up 3 steals, and blocked 2 shots. And somebody is saying that Kobe 6 boards, 3 steals, and 2 assists and a block by himself is better. No, that was the argument. Was that the best game that Michael ever had? And I would say probably, yeah. I remember that game. 63 points against the Celtics. The announcers were going nuts. All right, I think it was not Brickhouse, but Red Kerr, I think, was the announcer. All right, so that's an argument there. If you want to give me a call on that and disagree or agree, do that, okay? 630-530-7061. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm here with Ralph Venturini from Ozzy's, the world's best subs, at Wolf and Grand in Melrose Park. Hi, Ralph. Ralph, tell the folks a little bit about the history of Ozzy's.
Well, I'll tell you what. It started in 1971. It was a little grocery store, and my father decided that it came up for sale, and he decided that he would take advantage and go ahead and buy this little business and take a whirl at it. Mm-hmm. And it was just a tiny little 800 square foot space. And him and my mom ran it, and they learned it. And
all right, give me the ingredients of your great Italian subs.
Well, I'll tell you, the Italian has 3 kinds of meat. We put provolone cheese on it, Italian dressing, lettuce and tomatoes, and if you like, you can add pickles, onions, and peppers, and let me tell you, this sandwich is excellent.
Come on, folks, get out to Ozzy's at Wolf and Grand. Open 24 hours. Give them a call at 847-455-0845.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I'm going to read another book, Strange But True Football Stories. Wow. But before I do, though, let me tell you about Auto Advantage. I just got this in the mail. Best warranty around, longest warranty around, lifetime warranty on mufflers, lifetime warranty on brake pads and shoes, 60,000-mile warranty on shocks and struts. That's my buddies, Auto Advantage. Go in there and see Dominic and Leon. They've got a $20 bonus voucher off any service, and a bonus voucher of $5 off any service over $30. But I'm pretty sure they got an oil change special going on too. So get over to 885 Lake Street in Addison, Auto Advantage Car Care Center. All right, I'm going to read this story. It just, every time I read it or think about it, it just fascinates me that if you can picture it, if you could just picture what I'm going to tell you. It's called Roses Bloom in the Snow. It happened back in 1950. Okay? And on Saturday, there's at least 5 or 6 pages of this, but I won't all that. I'll just highlight some of the key things, okay? On Saturday morning, November 25th, radio broadcasters in and around Columbus, Ohio, were announcing every few minutes that the game would still be played, the game against Ohio State and Michigan. A third of the people with tickets were unable to attend the game. 50,000, though, were on hand for the opening kickoff. It holds about 80,000. But looking down on the field, on a white field whose yard markers had just been obliterated, the temperature was 10 degrees above zero. You couldn't see the field, you could hardly see, but yet 50,000 people showed up for this game. All right, and it goes on for a few things, but now just keep here. Like I say, I highlighted this part of it is amazing. Ohio State, although trailing, hoped for a Michigan mistake. I think they were trailing 3-0. Punt after punt slid off the toes of Ortman and Janowitz. By the time the game ended, the score was still 9-3. Janowitz had punted, get this, 24 times. 24 times in one game. And Ortman for Michigan punted 21 times. So in other words, they'd never make a first down, they'd have to punt. They'd go gain 6 yards because it was snow and the field was so bad they had to just keep punting. Their combined total of 45 punts in a game is still an all-time record. Can you imagine watching a game where there's 45 punts? Because they couldn't get a first down. As the frozen fans scurried out of the stadium, they could not decide whether they had seen the season's most exciting game or the dullest. It was either exciting or punting 45 times. But the Ohio Rooters, who of course were unhappy, because they lost, with the 9-3 Michigan victories, agreed that they had seen the luckiest team of all time. Michigan had made no first downs, not one first down, completed no passes. They didn't complete one pass. And they only gained 27 yards rushing, yet they won the game 9-3. It was like a block punt. They scored a touchdown. And like I said, I didn't read all of it, how they scored, but can you imagine that, watching a game like that? And Michigan, the luckiest team of all time, had no first downs, completed no passes, and gained only 27 yards rushing, and yet they won the game. That's an amazing story. Every time I think about it, I got some pictures here where it shows the field, completely covered with snow, and the guys slipping and sliding all over the place, and it was called a Snow Bowl. But what a great story. There's a lot more to it. They explained how they did it and so on, but I won't go into that. Maybe I'll just read a paragraph at a time for you. All right, we'll be right back, folks, and stay with us.
Get down with the sound, house on the ground, freeze when I squeeze, drop to your knees. You must have been out in here to stay, ready to take you around the way, so you're ready to pierce. Mind your own biz, 'cause I am there.
Hey everybody, the Donna Sports here. Hey you guys, it's time to get out and golf. The DuPage County Forest Preserve courses are open. Maple Meadows at 272 Addison Road in Wooddale. It's a links type course that is in great shape and no trees to hit. That's what a links type course is, not many trees. Oak Meadows at 900 North Wooddale Road in Addison is a traditional course with trees, beautiful flowers, and not many sand traps. And the price is reasonable. And get this, it has the longest bar in DuPage County for the 19th hole. And Green Meadows on 63rd and Westmont, a shorter course that is in great shape also. All of these courses are waiting for you at reasonable prices. Call Oak Meadows at 630-595-0071 and make your tee time.
America is one of the largest financial services marketing organizations in the nation, with approximately 95,000 licensed independent representatives. Primerica is an industry leader in financial services. I'm Mike Figarelli, an independent representative and senior vice president in the Bensonville area, and the company's goal is to help ordinary families prepare for their financial futures. We've shown many local families how to do just that, and we are prepared to grow locally by providing people with financial solutions as well as a great business opportunity. As an independent representative with Primerica, you can build a business of your own, part-time or full-time. To learn more about the Primerica business opportunity, call me, Mike Figarelli, at 630-860-0033. Again, that's 630-860-0033.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Don Figarelli here to Donna Sports. On the line with me now is my buddy NASCAR Jeff. Hey, NASCAR Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you, yourself?
All right, buddy. Listen, Jeff, I'm sure they have halls of fame. Yeah, I know they do, for NASCAR and racing and stuff like that. But did they ever list a book of, like, the 50 greatest NASCAR drivers of all time? Do they do stuff like that, like they do for football and baseball, that you know of?
Oh, sure. It's usually they have. I've got a couple myself.
Who are the top?
The Hall of Fame is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, that's a Hall of Fame. Okay.
Right, and so for racing.
Yeah.
And basically, it's there's several different books out there. So.
Yeah. Well, who the top three guys in racing? Who would be the greatest three guys that you know of in NASCAR racing? Who would it be? Because they got things for football and baseball. Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron, whatever. And I just got through doing some football stuff, and it was Jim Brown first and Walter Payton second. See, so. But then there's always some guy, well, this guy was better than that guy. Who are the three drivers that you would say are the three greatest?
Well, it goes in terms of what they did. It's kind of hard to pin down one guy because they're different eras.
Well, I know.
I'll give you an example. Richard Petty.
Okay.
Richard Petty, everybody kind of relates to because he's kind of popular, but he wasn't really the greatest. Like, It's kind of like the same thing I say with any kind of sport. There isn't one great guy. It's like Michael Jordan. He had his era.
Mm-hmm.
Now who's is good? Well, different circumstances, but if you had to put somebody great now, most people would probably say LeBron James, right?
Okay. Well, yeah, right. At this time, yeah, in this era right now.
Well, you had Buddy Baker and Davey Allison.
Is that right? Davey Allison was one of the...
And you had the Franz brother. You had the Franz family. The Franz family started basically NASCAR.
What about like not Yarborough, but
Bill Yarborough's one.
Yeah.
You had Harry Gantz, another guy.
Yeah.
Mario Andretti. A lot of people don't know this, but Mario Andretti started out in stock car racing.
He did.
Yes, he did, and then he ended up doing Formula One and IndyCar stuff.
Yeah, I'll be darned. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people out there. It's it's hard to pick for me one guy. Even now, you would say that Jimmy Johnson's probably the greatest, but he'll come and go, and it same thing. There's a lot of things that are involved in racing. It's not just the driver. It's like the pit crews and stuff like that. Because Hall of Fame in NASCAR, you get people who were behind the scenes. You might be a reporter, or an analyst for the networks that they use. And you might be a pit crew guy, might be an owner.
Yeah.
Not all the people they get 5 guys go in each year, and out of the 5 guys, there's somebody outside of just drivers in there.
Yeah, okay. You know what just crossed my mind, Jeff, was why couldn't they just have look at, you got a full tank of gas, right? Okay, and there's 20 guys or whatever, 10, but that isn't fair to the guy in the back row, is it? I mean, in other words, just when they run out of gas, you run out of gas. Whoever wins.
No, it's timing. No, it's you got to time those things, and nobody's got gas gauges, so you can't. It isn't like, you're going to win. I think it's kind of stupid. I've asked this question, never really gotten a straight answer on why they don't have gas gauge in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never gotten a true answer to find out why. I personally think they ought to have something in there, but it's basically a guessing game. They keep notes from the years before on each time they go to the track, so they pretty much know. They got an idea within maybe 3 to 5 laps of what.
Yeah.
But it's the weather conditions too. I mean, sometimes you have more caution, so that kind of plays into it, and lots of factors. Driving that car isn't as simple as just getting in and flooring it.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust me, I've been in that car. I can tell you it's a lot more to it than just, everybody, anybody could drive that. No. Trust me. That's the reason why you see the youngins coming up and doing better than the old guys, because they're willing to take a chance and ride by the seat of your pants, and that's literally by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. There's a place on Lake Street, Jeff, maybe you've been there, and it's called Cyber Sports or something of Chicago. And I guess you could actually, get in an Indy car and actually, go around, but you got to wear the suit and all that. You know what I mean? It's indoors, though. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No, they have they have go-kart tracks and stuff that are indoors. It's kind of fun. But,
but no, this is more.
Cheap.
You have to wear a suit, you have to, you have to, wear a protective suit gear,
I've never heard of that, but I'm sure I could check it out now that you brought that up. I might just check in on it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
they give you a report back.
Yeah, Cyber Sports of Chicago on Lake Street, CYBER, because I pass it all the time, and geez, the place is huge, and I said, what the heck is that? Well, that's where they do. Indy car race, you have to sign a waiver and stuff like that, and it's on Lake Street, either in I want to say Addison or Glendale Heights, and you may like to do it. Of course, you race regular stuff. This would just be Mickey Mouse for you, But
it's all fun.
Yeah.
It's all fun no matter what.
Yeah, right. So.
But I got a few sad notes, or one thing I wanted to mention. I know it's a sports show, but having been an ex-firefighter for years,
man, yeah,
I got to say, 19 guys yesterday were laid to rest from the Hot Shot crew in Arizona. I didn't know anybody, but I have been on a crew like that.
Really,
situations similar to what they're.
But Jeff, wouldn't they be cautious? I mean, doing it and having the experience, wouldn't they be cautious of a backdraft or whatever? Wouldn't they take that into consideration when they're setting up? Wouldn't you say, well, hey, you guys, if the wind changes, you know what I mean? It's good because that's I think what happened, right? It was
there's a lot more to it that I know enough people that still do it, and that they get reports all the time.
Yeah.
And when this was going down, they were supposedly having tornado-type winds go through there, 180-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow.
And when that happens, sometimes it's a no-win situation. The reports will come out probably in 6 months to a year, and you'll find out exactly what happened. From all indications, they just got caught. And
yeah, but like I say,
the weather and the topography, you got to be a weatherman. You can't just be a fireman. You got to be a weatherman too, because different terrains play different roles in the way the weather acts, and it's even with a spotter, the things happen so quick, Don. I was running out of flames several times because you're in there, in the mix, cutting line against the front, and things happen. Wind change. That's why you get reports all the time. They're supposed to be getting reports from people above and stuff. But I didn't want to make a big deal out of it because I know it's a sports show. But I wanted to, just put my plug out there. Having done it for so long, and it's a hurt in all of firefighting, not just the wildland fires. It's for all the fire department. When one guy goes down, everybody feels it.
Absolutely.
Right, John?
No, yeah, John, you're right. But what I'm saying is, don't they have caution now where guys go into a building with the roof caving in? Didn't they change something now where you can't go into the building unless you check the roof out? You know what I'm saying? Is that right, Johnny? Don't they have some rule now or something?
That just happened this morning. A Chicago firefighter had a ceiling collapse on him, and he wound up in the hospital. It happened overnight. They had a fire. I don't know where exactly it was, but yes,
Can't they knock out the ceiling first before they go in? You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a lot of situations. You have to be on the fire scene in order to know what's going on. Now they do have air masks that they wear that they don't get overcome by smoke. But listening to what just Jeff said about out there, it's just like anything else, Don. You got to have eyes around your head. You got to be cautious in every moment, every movement that you make when you're on a fire scene. I know I've been in several situations myself. There was a place in Franklin Park, a bar that was on fire, and we went in there, and I don't think we made 2 steps inside the building, and the whole second floor caved in.
Yeah.
If we would have been 10 seconds sooner going in there, I would not be sitting behind this control board working your show.
Wow.
That's how close. It's just terrible, and you have to, like I said, you got to have eyes around your head. You got to know exactly what's going on. Right, Jeff?
Right, exactly. And everybody backs up everybody else. It's like it's a family within a family. That's the way I've always been that way. You got to know those 19 or those 20 guys. They'll say they have to know each other in and out, inside and out, because you got to trust them. You can't have some guy that's a flunky on there doesn't know what the heck he's doing, and that might be questionable because then your decisions might be, not the proper one. So, it takes a lot of work to do any fire job, and all I can say is, to me, in my opinion, none of those firemen or police department people get paid enough money. With the state taxes, I argue this all the time. I personally haven't done it for $10 an hour. No, it's not worth it. What life is worth that kind of money? I enjoyed that job, and it wasn't really about the money, but anybody you talk to who does it now will say that.
Yeah. Any job that where it's life-threatening somewhat, you know what I mean, which it can happen, should be compensated for that. A politician sitting behind a desk in the office making 10 times more than a firefighter, that don't make sense to me.
It's the same thing with the guys at the races. Every time there's a race, there's always a lot of fire personnel out there, and some people have complained that they're not fast enough, but you got to understand, too, there's a lot of other issues they got to worry about. It isn't just the gasoline or the car burning. There might be stuff in there that can fire off and take them out, too.
Right.
The train derailments that happened up in back east, and look what happened up in Canada, I think it was, right?
Yeah, up around,
Yeah.
You send a bunch of people in there when you don't know what's in there, and you blow them up. Then you send more in there until you find out what's in there. It's kind of hard to tell, and some people would argue with, you're wasting time. But there's some chemicals you can't put water on. It just makes it worse. And I could go on about that, but it's racing. So same thing with race cars. I mean, it's a you could get killed just as easy driving down the street too. So there you go.
Well, in a way, though, Jeff, look, what I think, like, say there's a warehouse that's abandoned, the building's nobody's in there, it's abandoned. Okay, the fire starts in there. You got to put it out. I understand, but don't. To me, knock the ceiling down first with a crane or something. You know what I mean? It's not like if the building burned, nobody's in it. You know what I mean? Okay, but don't send 10 guys in there and then the roof caves in. That don't make sense to me. I mean,
no, they're doing stuff to search for people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of transients that live in houses they ought not to be in Chicago. The homeless like to just hang out in those places, and a lot of times the fires are started by them trying to make cooking.
Well, if they don't have
something.
But
it's all search. It's all search and rescue mode.
Yeah.
And they're going in to try and find to see if there's anybody in there.
Well,
and that's what you do.
Well, I know, but like I say, to me, it's hey, you guys in there, get out. You're the knuckleheads that started it. Now get out of there. We're coming in. I mean, common sense, you would think. Here, a guy goes in there with a family and 3 kids to save this homeless schmuck who started the fire in the first place. You know what I mean? It's almost like, yeah, you want to save them, but you got, hey, wait a minute, you guys get out of there first. That's just sort of my take on it. But maybe you guys, I know it might be a little different.
That happened just a couple of years ago. There was a place on the south side of Chicago where the homeless people went in there and set a fire, and the fire department went in there, and when they were...
How many guys did you lose?
A couple of them.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. And I was at both of their wakes because I was president of the 511 Club at that time.
Sure, them guys are all, they don't even know where they are. They're half drugged up or something.
What they're doing now is they go out on inspections, and they come up to a building, they see it's abandoned, they make note of it. If that building should catch on fire, they know it's an abandoned building. They fight it from the outside. They don't send firemen inside.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, that's what I mean. If it's abandoned, there should be nobody in there.
Supposedly.
Well, it's always going to be search and rescue first, and then structure protection next. And especially when you're in neighborhoods, the old style houses down there, you got to make sure that it doesn't do a domino effect and then go from one house to another. That's and that's weather conditions too. And actually, in a house, it'll create its own weather conditions. I mean, it's actually a science. I kind of miss it. I'm actually looking at maybe going back into it again as a firefighter trainer out there. I have some friends of mine that were asking me because a lot of people are retiring, and all I would do is, as long as I don't have to go up and down the hills like I used to, because that's a young man's sport.
Ah, yeah, you're only 54 or something like that, aren't you? What did you tell me you were in your mid-50s?
56. Yeah, I know, it feels, but lately it's been, with this humidity and, I don't know. But, it's all, I just had to throw that out there because because people don't know, especially in the Midwest, what a hotshot is, and they don't know what these guys are doing. The West is in a horrendous situation with the drought. They're burning up. There's so many fires out there. I stop counting. I get to the list every day.
Oh,
and there's thousands of them. I mean, Alaska alone has, I think, 2,000 fires going.
Unbelievable.
It's inherently dangerous, and this is early for this stuff to be happening like this. So, I'm just hoping and praying that nobody else gets hurt, and that there's a lot of issues that are, in my opinion, that could be resolved from all this happening. But it's a political thing, and I won't get into that. And but I'll just say this: every day you get up, please pray for all these firemen and policemen to come home to their families.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another guy be lost in the line of duty and leave young kids and newborn.
Yeah, all of them were in their 20s, right?
Yeah.
Jeff, where is Winthrop Harbor at? Whereabouts is that?
Winthrop Harbor?
Yeah, because that's the fireman that got killed in that, one of the 9 firemen that got killed was from Winthrop Harbor, and I saw it on Channel 5 News last night, but I don't know, because they're flying his body back today. And
oh, it's up north. You mean the guy from Illinois?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up north somewhere.
Is that up north? I don't.
I think it's up north. But you know, there's people there was people I was working with that were from all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what even really made it more fun, because I actually, there was times we were training the French and the Australians how to fight fire, and they were with us. They had their seasons are different than ours.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they used to come in, and where my station was actually the main station for the whole country, and it still is. The whole country goes there to train. People from Florida, people from the Carolinas, they all go out there to train, because California is known for having the worst fire situations there is.
Oh, is that right? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You ought to get back into that, Jeff. Oh, well, I mean, it's easy to say.
As a trainer, yeah, I've got friends of mine that are asking about that. They're shorthanded. There's a lot of people that are getting out and retiring, and they're looking for training people, training officers, and I love to do it. I miss it. There's a lot of things I can still do, but going up and down hills, you got to be really physically fit, and I'm talking about being out there days without, changing your clothes, and you're basically camping out.
Yeah.
But it's, well, I went 44 days straight without being home, and I'll tell you what, I only had 4 days worth of clothes with me, so there you go.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, that's tough duty. Well, Jeff, listen, buddy, I appreciate you. And no, don't feel bad about talking about that. We, not sports per se, but those poor guys, to lose their lives and their families.
19 guys, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard. That's the worst the worst loss to life is a group of firefighters doing that since 1939.
I just can't.
Outside of 9/11, but that was a different situation. I'm talking about just wildland firefighters.
Yeah, it's too bad. Were they kind of close to each other? They must have been, huh? Was it a fire line or were they spread out, or?
No, they were close to each other. They weren't that far away. I mean, usually when you're working, you're only spread out, maybe 10 or 15 feet from each other.
Yeah.
When you're building line.
I mean, it's a shame they don't.
But I mean, you could be. If they all popped the shelters, and I think what happened is they suffocated. I think it sounds to me like they suffocated, didn't burn up.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was thinking, why couldn't they put a giant ball or something over the top, fireproof, something
it's
over?
Garbage.
Huh?
It's garbage. I don't even know why somebody doesn't develop something different, because it's garbage. I don't want to go into the details. I'll just say that you don't want to go out that way.
Well, it's almost like, we got to do something about it now after the thing happened, It's just too bad that, maybe they'll do some different rules or have different ways
here's just of note. Here's another one, okay? The one other thing that is a problem is, because of the sequester, they're not getting the funding for a lot of the equipment they were supposed to get.
Is that right?
And there are a lot of people that have been furloughed.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when that goes on, because I was around in the late 70s, early 80s when it happened before, when I was, last time I was there.
Yeah.
What happens is they cut back. Instead of having five crews on the fire, they'll have maybe 2.
Oh, man. And then
and that's not, I was on, our crew was on one fire one time. We were the only ones there for 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, that's what gets me. They spend all this money, our country, paying other countries and giving other countries aid, or going to the moon, spending billions, when the stuff right here like that, like just what you're saying, they could allocate the money for that. It's common stuff, the things that happen every single day. All right,
That's why I always get in an argument with some of these teachers, and I don't go down that road, but honestly, some of them think that there's too much money being given to the fire departments and police departments in this country.
Yeah.
And I say, they're nuts, because for one, is they get 3 months off a year.
Yeah.
They get paid $90,000 a year to do stuff and still have a vacation, where a lot of these guys struggle just to stay afloat. A lot of them have second jobs to stay afloat, where it depends on where you're at.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, Johnny,
right.
you want to say something, Johnny?
Well, I was just going to say, you're talking about, cutting the manpower on the equipment. Chicago is fighting that right now. They want to cut, each piece of equipment has got 5 men on it. While they think that that's too many men on a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
No,
And
the more the better.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's a safety thing. It takes two guys. You can't give one guy running a hose. Can you see one guy using a 2.5 inch or a 3 inch hose?
Well, what aggravated me the other day is I heard that they want to put up a big sports complex for DePaul University, and they're going to fund this thing yet to keep firefighters on the scene and to protect and get some police officers out there on the streets and protect the citizens of Chicago. That it seems like they don't have money for, but to put up and DePaul yet of all places, man, their tuition is expensive.
Yeah, and they want to make a river walk too. Why?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, hey Jeff, thanks for the call, buddy. We're going to knock it off here. All right.
All right, guys. God bless. Have a good week, and
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you later.
I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. All right. Hey, folks, we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. Play a couple of commercials for you. We only got about a couple minutes left, so hope you enjoyed the show. I know I did, and Johnny did. Thanks to all our callers that called in, because it was Jack Ryan. Thank you, Jack, and Wayne H. O'Brien, and NASCAR Jeff. Thank you guys for the calls. And did I miss anybody? No, that was about it, right? Okay, thanks for listening to the show, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care now. All right, Johnny.
Mind your own biz, 'cause I am back, yeah, the microphone whiz. Leave the safe, 'cause you all in the pit. Ready for this.
You have been listening to the Dawn of Sports from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network. This program was directed by John DeVita, edited by Stephen Lehman, and audio engineer was James Rohde. The Dawn of Sports was pre-recorded on Wednesday, July the 10th, the year 2013.